The chief of Brazil's oil gigantic Petrobras, Pedro Parente, has obedient, next a national hit by truck drivers how inflicted enormous destruction. The hit versus diesel engine prices, that ended the 1 week, inflicted main shortages in the nation. Lot of the protesters accused Mr. Parente for growing expenses, following the business stopped subsidizing gas prices for its national consumer. Yet, Petrobras gave no particular cause for the retire. In his retire email to CEO Michel Temer, Mr. Parente told the hit disputed the price politics he had executed. Mr. Parente told his part as CEO had stopped creature favorable and by the government necessary to believe alternatives to its price politics departure striker, on to Reuters news story agent. 2 years back, ex-Power Secretary Mr. Parente pegged the cost of gas in Brazil to world oil prices, that include with nearly dual. The oil gigantic is controllable by the government and is recognized as one of the planet's largest oil companies. Brazil's by the government had told it will not use Petrobras to subsidize gas. But the leaving of Mr. Parente has led to several assumptions how Brazil may go behind to its old gas price politics of subsidies for such of cheap income backgrounds. Shares bring down by more than rather than 20% next his retire on Friday. Which can a nation do versus growing world oil prices? How's a issue Brazil has been grappling in for on a 10 years? Of 2011 to 2016, Petrobras proposed large subsidies to consumer, that helping hold Brazil's bloating downward and provided job create. But it incurred enormous losses how endangered the business's length-term prospects. Later in 2016 came Pedro Parente and the business took a in-turn. All subsidies were raised and gas expenses began to fluctuate on to world prices. Its finance trust was recovered but diesel engine consumer, especially truck drivers, felt a upheaval while world oil prices shooting up. Mr. Parente's retire suggests several shape of by the government intervene in prices will go. But few investors will be happy in the concept of procurement shares in a business how is concentrated on dealing bloating and joblessness, quite rather than fair making petroleum.